like to start out by speaking a little bit about true surrender. True surrender. True surrender simply lies in the willingness and ability to receive the beloved. The thing of it is that the beloved is the expression of every single thing. If it is the slightest bit selective, then it is surrender to the ego, which actually is impossible and leads down a path of frustration. True surrender is true nectar because it is the ability to receive the beauty, the wisdom, the grace of the offering. Habit of conditioning creates this illusion that you are someone separate. And out of it arises the experience of doing, the experience of progression, the experience of a reference point defined as me. And arising out of this, there can be this effortful attempting for this conditioned habitual point of reference to surrender. But the point of reference is built out of these mechanisms that are based on the survival of the separate point of reference, or the survival of the experience of the separate point of reference. What is discovered is that this concept of surrendering out of the separate point of reference defined as me is ultimately discovered to be futile. It will seem to be successful sometimes and seem to fail at others. Keeping this constant attempting and struggle active from the point of reference that is experienced as separate, that is experienced as me. In true surrender, it is the receiving of every single thing. It is not the experience of a separate character which is distinct, receiving what it is that is around that character, but it is the receiving of everything. At times when there is the identification that I am the character, as opposed to attempting to be where you are not, surrender receives where you are. It is receiving from where it is coming. It lies in this recognition that it is all coming from the beloved. Every single thing. Thus it is receiving everything with this rock solid faith, this knowingness that it is all arising out of one source. What appears to be me, what appears to be other, what appears to be universal consciousness, what appears to be timeless, what appears to be time, it is all arising out of the one source, to which there is the possibility to be in surrender, to receive. And every time there is re-identification, what is received is the process of humbling. Not an attempt to change out of some belief of something wrong, but the receiving of the grace. And when it is contractive, the receiving is felt as humbling. And humbling is what deconditions the habit of separation. The thing about true surrender is that it is not intermittent. If it is intermittent, it is not true surrender, but a game of mind. It is not the character's surrender. It is the surrender of the character. It is not changing. It is not doing. It is receiving. It is not in the future nor the past. It is now. It needs no effort, yet effort will arise intermittently. And when effort arises, it is received. in surrender, and then something is humbled. The thing about it is that this surrender becomes of greater importance than any particular thing. Otherwise, it is not true surrender. When there is true surrender, it can be felt. The grace and the beauty can be felt. The pure joy that is the undercurrent of the appearance of everything is felt. Even the humbling is tasted as nectar when surrender is true, which is in this moment. Particulars make absolutely no difference. It is receiving everything. It is receiving everything in recognition of from where the appearance of everything comes. Which is the wisdom. That which is sought. In the recognition that that which is sought is that which is. This is the constant flavor in the taste of true surrender. Even when there is the arising of struggle. Because it ceases to be about someone getting somewhere. And it is recognized to simply live in the hunger to receive what is being offered. And what is being offered will humble away every single thing. If this is not tasted, it is because the surrender is not complete yet. It is not a problem. It is simply to hold the humble intention to remain true, to receive only now.
The receiving of everything.
Yes, the receiving of everything.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time doing that. It's this pervasive, always on nervous system. It's a from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, it's a condition. And I've known it since being with this process, I know has nothing to do with kind of like me, but it's always on, almost always.
Yeah, so conceptually, there's a conceptual understanding that it's not you,
Yeah.
but it's not the experience. If it was the experience, it would be no problem.
Yeah.
It is experienced as me. Surrender is accepting the experience as it is.
Yeah.
It's very simple.
I mean, it's not like, a welcoming a disease, but that's there again. That is saying that's me or something like. I'm so glad I have this condition. I mean, that's a little strange to think for me right now. But you're saying, can you say it again?
Out of the reference point, there is the experience of opening and closing. In the opening phase, there is an experience that the reference point is gone. But it's not gone. There's something aware of it. There's something saying, man, this is it. And then when it contracts, there's something saying, oh my God, this is suffering. Yeah. Every single thing is arising out of the source. There is a knowingness underneath the common experiences. There is a knowingness of this. So when the battle is going on, but there is a knowingness that is coming from the source. That the separate one is imagination. And during the contractive phase, that is the experience. And in the humility that receives, it receives that experience from where it is coming. It is not looking for something. When I say from where it is coming, it is not diving in to the experience of the absolute. It is just receiving what is. It's not changing a thing. It is receiving what is. So in other words, if the mind is rejecting what is, it is receiving the mind rejecting what is. It is not changing a thing. You cannot change a thing. The you is imaginary. It is the faith that there is a higher wisdom at play, and that the mind that is trying to change is arising out of that as well. I'm going to turn the gears. What is this intensity that is being spoken about? What is it affecting? What is it affecting?
I don't think it's affecting now in anything. It seems like it's affecting some kind of energy. A therapist told me he thought I was operating with my brakes on all the time, and that's probably the best analogy.
Jay?
Yeah.
First thing is, the only way you can explore is in the moment. Otherwise, the only thing that is being explored is the conditioned mind. In order to be in the moment, you need to let go of the habit of living in memory, because you've never existed in memory. Only the appearance of the ego exists in memory, out of which every single thing that is known is derived from. like who Jay is, what the therapist said. It's all memory. Your existence is now. Reality is now. In reality, taking a break from the ingrained habit of living through the relative experience of a past that does not exist except in imagination, in memory. So the question is now, where is the issue? Where's the issue?
It's difficult to talk about because
why?
I can feel this. It's a physical manifestation of something.
Yes,
It's
okay.
like pushing on my brain.
Okay.
And it's okay. And since
right,
being in
I understand. I
Yeah.
understand that there are symptoms. I understand you have trigeminal neuralgia and it's active and it causes very intense pressure in the head. No, that's not it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean-
okay. All right. I recognize this. There is a lot of sensation happening. I realize that that causes a fire. I am not denying this. But what I am asking is for a moment, which can be a great challenge when the intensity is very hot. But the possibility is in this moment to forget about the reactive imprint of memory, which is absolutely ignited when there is a lot of stimulation. Right. So there is stimulation. So for a minute, it is surrendering to the stimulation, knowing nothing. Knowing nothing for 1 minute. You get back in your seat, you can run with the story, but just for 1 minute now, 1 minute, it is just to receive what is happening, knowing nothing. Meaning you don't know what energy is, you don't know what pain is, you don't know what the head is, you don't know
what I am. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So tell me what the experience is.
I think it feels pretty good.
I realize it is not to minimize this. I realize that this is a particular condition that can bring on very intense symptoms. And it is the perfect work. It is the perfect work for you. It is the doorway for you. It is the answer for you. It is the karmic interplay that you have come here, which is the challenge, the karmic interplay. It is what has caused forgetting, but it is the doorway and the possibility for you.
Yeah, I pretty much realize that.
Okay, well, that's great.
That's what
Yeah, okay.
Right, yeah. And I've done that very thing of, okay, I'm nothing or whatever you want to call it, and receive it, and it's just just a bunch of energy.
Yes, okay.
And I just wanted to talk about it, so because it's been forever.
There is only this moment. What that is a reality check. There is only this moment. This moment is not in time. This moment is now. J is an imprint that is experienced over time, built upon memory that is found in the past. It is not to say that that separate one that is driven by karma is not experienced. It most certainly is. And the experiences of karma, this is the challenge that every player comes here with the possibility of freeing themselves from, but it presents itself from the conditioned mind's perspective as the obstacle. So, the antidote to the obstacle is reality. Reality is now. It's always now, and it's always reality. Now is not in time. It is the nature of your existence. Your existence is always now. It is not overlaid by some mental imprint that boxes it into some conditioned formula. So there is the feeling of existence, which is the feeling of now. And then there is the overlay, which is what is called the imprint of karma, which experiences very intense energy. And all of the habitual tendencies are to follow what is making a lot of noise. It is all happening in subject-object dynamics, which is the play of karma. The object that is making a lot of noise draws the attention of that which is aware of it, so that the attention gets focused like a laser beam. And at the same time, there is something that is aware of subject-object dynamics. There is something that is aware of the laser beam that is contracted on the object that the story is burning and causing all this sensation. There is something that is equally aware of everything. Yes, what is equally aware of everything is what is now. What is now is eternal. What is eternal is unchanging. It is not burning. It is unchanging. The stronger the stimulation, the greater the pull into the contractive force that causes the experience of re-identification. Trying to fight against it only feeds it. It is not a trying. It is recognizing the subject-object dynamics at play. The awareness contracting and following this stimulation that the mind is defining. It's calling energy, but it's also labeling it as pain. And then it is aware of that which is aware of that whole phenomena, which is wide open, which is silent, not demanding attention. You access what is silent and not demanding attention, not by trying to get away from the stimulation that is causing distress, but just by relaxing and noticing what is always already open. In what is always already open, there is no subject-object dynamics playing. That which is aware of everything the same. Experiences only itself. One is the imprint, the overlay. The other is the taste of eternity. If the overlay is the experience, you cannot get to the taste of eternity by trying to get away from conditioning fears. But it is possible to learn to receive the wisdom, to have faith in the beloved, until the fear relaxes enough that there is the recognition of what has always been eternally open and has never crossed paths with the experience of karma. You cannot know the self, not fully, until there is the ability to fully receive. Receiving pleasure is no problem. It is receiving what is defined as pain. That is the humbling. The deeper in you go, the more you feel. The more you feel, the more dormant aspects of minds, fears are stimulated. The more it is all received regardless, the more there becomes the realization that it is all illusory, all irrelevant. If there is a shred that is trying to get to that, then it is suffering. And the suffering has a job. It humbles the latent tendencies of resistance as there is a deeper and deeper recognition of the wisdom that is animating everything. It is the path of the warrior. Not the warrior as in the conqueror, but the warrior as in that which will not run away. There is only this moment. To the degree that there is a sense of identity that is lingering in a subconscious way, is the degree to which the habit of forgetting remains lingering. It is not in the future, it is not in the past. For you have never existed for a second in a future, and you have never existed for a second in a past. It boxes the experience driven by the overlay that is called karma. But the remedy is very simple. On the one hand, it is the greatest challenge of human life, but it is also the simplest of things, for it is not a doing, it is not a changing, it is just receiving what already is, from where it is coming. Which is the devotion of your heart. And out of this wisdom, it will challenge. As the devotion deepens, the intensity will deepen. Until eventually there is this recognition. It's irrelevant. Has never really affected anything. All suffering is the suffering of ego. Ego is the overlay of linear time. Your existence is eternal. You are being shed from the illusion by this wisdom, and the warrior just does not run.